Okay, today we are diving into one of the most, let's be honest, frustrating parts of using AI. It's terrible memory. We're going to break down the tech that finally lets bots remember who you are, which makes them smarter, way more personal, and, thank goodness, a lot less repetitive.
I mean, you've been there, right? You're deep in a conversation with a chatbot, you've laid it all out, and then the very next thing you say, it's like, who are you? It has no clue what you just talked about. It's this digital amnesia, and it is such a massive waste of our time. So yeah, that frustration, that's exactly what we're going to tackle. We're breaking down the technology that gives AI a real, persistent memory. And trust me, it makes our conversations with it so much smoother and, frankly, a whole lot more intelligent.
Okay, so before we can really get into the solution, we gotta put a name to the problem. And at its core, this is what we call the forgetful bot problem. And here it is in a nutshell. On the one hand, you have the stateless bot. It starts every single conversation from zero. It's always, who are you? But on the other hand, the stateful bot, this one remembers you. It can say, hey, welcome back, Brandon. And why? Because it keeps track of your state, which is just a fancy word for its memory of you. That one little difference, it's a total game changer. So how do we actually do it? How do we get from that forgetful bot to the one that actually knows who we are? Well, it really just comes down to two key things, a shared memory and a little bit of teamwork. All right, ingredient number one is something called state management. And look, it sounds technical, but the idea is actually super simple. Just think of it like a shared customer file. You know, whenever you call a company, anyone who picks up the phone can pull up your file, see your history, and just pick up right where the last person left off. State management is just that. It's creating that exact same shared memory, but for an AI. Okay, and the second key ingredient? That's a multi-agent architecture. This is the teamwork part I was talking about. So instead of having one single AI trying to do everything and probably doing it all kind of poorly, you create a whole team of specialized AI agents. It's just like a really good customer service department, right? You've got a receptionist who directs you to the right expert for sales or tech support or billing. This system, it works the exact same way. So, keeping those two ideas in mind, shared memory and teamwork, let's actually meet the AI team we're going to be following in our example. So here's our crew. First, you've got the main router agent. Think of this one as the friendly receptionist. Its only job is to direct traffic. Then you've got the specialists. There's a sales agent for anything about buying, a course support agent who knows all the product details, and a policy agent. That's the one who knows all the rules, like refund policies. Now, what's the magic that makes this whole team so effective? It's that shared memory we keep talking about. Every single one of these agents can both read and write to the exact same central file. This is huge because it lets them stay perfectly in sync. It creates this kind of collaborative intelligence. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's actually see how this plays out in the real world. We're going to follow a user, his name is Brandon, as he interacts with this stateful AI team, and we'll watch how all these pieces come together. So Brandon kicks things off with a pretty standard general question. What courses do you offer? You know, a classic sales inquiry. And boom, just like that, the router agent, our receptionist, pegs this as a sales question. And notice, it doesn't even try to answer it. It knows its job is to delegate, so it immediately passes the question over to the specialist, the sales agent. All right, so Brandon makes up his mind. He says, I want to buy the AI marketing platform course. Now, this is the key moment. This is where that shared memory really gets put to work. Okay, before he hits buy, let's look at his file in that shared memory. You can see his name, Brandon Hancock, but check out the purchased courses list. It's empty. This is our before picture, our starting point.
So the sales agent steps in and handles the transaction. But, and this is so important, its job isn't over yet. After the payment goes through, it does the most critical step. It writes that new info back to the shared memory file so the whole team can see it. And there you have it. This is the after picture. Brandon's file now has the AI marketing platform course right there in his purchased courses list. The system's memory is now up to date, and that new fact is instantly available to every single agent on the team. Okay, but now comes the real test, right? Brandon asks a follow-up question about the course he just bought. A normal forgetful bot would have no idea what he's talking about. So what does our smart system do? This is where it all clicks. The router agent gets the question, but instead of just guessing, it first checks that shared memory. It sees, hey, Brandon owns this course.
So it realizes this isn't a sales question anymore, it's a support question. And it sends him straight to the course support expert. No confusion, no repeating himself, just the right person for the job. Okay, let's throw one more curveball at it. Brandon now asks about something totally different. What's your refund policy? And yep, just like you'd hope, the router knows exactly who to call. It doesn't bother sales, it doesn't bother support. It sends that query straight to the policy agent, the one who knows the rules inside and out. It's perfect delegation every single time.
Okay, so we've seen it work, but let's pull back for a second and talk about the big picture here. Why does any of this actually matter?
You know, it really all boils down to this. The system is smart enough to understand the user's goal in that moment, and it hands the job to the right agent. We saw it, right? When Brandon wanted to buy, the sales agent stepped up. When he needed help with his course, the support agent took over. What you get is a personalized, context-aware answer every time, and it's all because the system can actually remember. The bottom line? No more repeating yourself. When you think about it, we've gone from a single, forgetful AI to an entire collaborative team of specialists that has a collective memory. That's not just a small tweak. That's a fundamental shift in how this technology works. And it kind of leaves us with this really fascinating question to chew on. If AI can learn to work together this effectively with a shared memory, what could that mean for the future of how we work together? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.